Hey everybody, Audrey here, the Fit, Fierce, and Faithful Mom. Welcome back to my channel. So happy to have you here. Today we are going to be talking about, should you actually track your children when it comes to grading? Alright, so I am a data-driven person. I absolutely love tracking things, especially when it comes to homeschooling. I know there's a lot of controversy in the homeschool world, but well, no matter what you do in life, you're going to be graded on it. And so I want my kids to start feeling that pressure. I've come a long way with how I test and how I prepare my children for testing. We do state testing once a year, and it's mainly for me to see where there grows, where there glows. And if you are a former teacher like I am, then you'll understand the grows and the glows. So what does that mean? A glow is where you're shining. That is where your child is excelling, where maybe you need to try and push them just a little bit, and the grows are where we need to kind of like beef up a little bit. So let me give you a little background on how I used to test. I used to be super strict with testing, and it was, we're having a test, because I was very uptight my first 2 years of homeschooling. Then I learned how to relax and kind of roll with it, and we all got our feet under us. But testing is super important because you, as a homeschool mom, you need to see where your kids are. You need to see where they need help. You need to see where they are struggling and so forth. The first thing that I'll make a mention of is that it's really important to check out your state laws. What does your state actually require? You can get on the State Board of Education website, and they will actually tell you. For us, if I submit our state scores at the end of the year, that's totally fine, or I can submit a transcript. So what I use is Homeschool Tracker. It's worked very well for us over the past couple of years, and I can input our lesson plans. I can move them around if I want. I put like the books that we're using, when we're going to use it, how we're going to use it, and it also generates a transcript should the state ever ask, which they really shouldn't, because I register every single year with them as a home study program. But it's really nice to be able to see a report card. It's really nice to see a transcript at the end of the year. Or should something strange happen and my children go back to school, it's nice to have that transcript that I can actually show a school and say, hey, here is what we've been doing for the past several years. So I'm tracking it for myself, and I'm tracking it should I have to show someone else in the future. All right, so the second part of this, how I actually track the children's results, is I go based on the grading scale that our parish, we call it a parish here, it's a county, in other, and I guess how the state is using their grading scale. So I believe it's, oh my goodness, I can't think of it right now. And 92 and above is an A, and then it goes down from there. There's a whole grading scale. That is the grading scale that I use for my kids. I set that up in Homeschool Tracker, and I do it however many questions, however many they get correct out of how many total questions. So it's not like I'm doing this like 100 thing, whatever. You understand. However many questions they got correct, out of how many questions total, boom, do the division. That's their grade. That's how Homeschool Tracker does it, and so forth. So I like using the grading scale that the state has, because why am I going to invent my own grading scale? Plus, I really like that a 90 to 100 is not an A. I really like those extra couple points because it makes them strive even more. In grading, I don't necessarily tell my kids their overall report card, their overall like yearly report. That's not important to me to show them. Do they see things on a daily basis when I am grading things? Yes, I think that's important. I think that they should be seeing where they may be struggling, where their strengths are, and where we can improve together. You need to be talking to your kids. You are everything. I've said this before. You're the principal, the guidance counselor, the test coordinator, the teacher, the nurse and like, okay, so forth. But you are in charge of their education. You need to be talking with them. You need to be asking them, hey, what was the issue with this? Why did you have a problem? Okay, so here's another reason why I really track grades is because we have a wonderful in-state tuition program for college. And so I want to get a head start on that because I have an almost middle schooler, and sooner than I would like, she is going to be in high school. Once your child is in high school, if you really want them to try and qualify for those in-state tuition, you need to follow certain guidelines. And so I really wanted to get a head start on that. I really want to make sure that we are doing this correctly and so forth. Not to mention, I forgot about this, is that, remember, like, you can get discounts for grades for insurance. And I don't know about in your state, but in our state, the insurance rates are ridiculous right now for kids who are just starting to drive. So I want to get as much discounting as possible. And that is another reason why I am starting now to track their results. Our oldest was also in a mainstream school, and she is motivated by grades. She understands it, and so now it's kind of trickled down to my younger two. I'm like, what grade did I get? Not really the 4-year-old, but the 6-year-old, because he does test. He does a math test. Once he's done with his little unit, I started grading him on his writing assignments. They are motivated by grades, and they're motivated by grades because I have these punch out cards that I'm going to link below, and if they get an A on a test, they can get a little punch out. Once they fill their punch card, then they get a scratch off, and it says things like 30 minutes on your iPad, 30 minutes video games, pick the dinner of your choice. And what they started doing is they started pooling together, which I think is brilliant. And they ended up having 2 hours of video game time, and it like crushed me one day because they're like, Mom, we have 2 hours of video game time. And it was like a Wednesday. I was like, oh no. But that's the whole point of the incentive, because I really don't like screen time during the week at all, unless it is something school related. And it's only for a short period of time. So that was interesting. But yes, they are motivated by grades, and they're motivated by that. I do know that there are several different companies, like who else? Mother of Divine Grace, Seton, correct me if I'm wrong, but they all offer transcripts. They all have grading systems already in place. But if you're like me and you pick and you choose like what you want and you put it together, then that's going to be on you. Something else to think about. There is also the grading based on pass, fail. I don't like that. I like to assign a number to it because then it makes it more appropriate. Yeah. All right. So there is pass, fail, but I like to assign a number to it. I want to be able to track the results. If all you're doing is just saying like pass, fail, what kind of data are you tracking to see where your child is? And then there's also the satisfactory, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory, but that goes along with the pass-fail mentality. I want to see numbers. I want to see how they're actually doing. And this really came in handy with the testing that we do for yearly. For example, my 5th grader, she was struggling with spelling. And so between last year and this year, I was actually able to see her improvement throughout the year with testing, but then those bigger state tests, we saw a drastic improvement. Now, if I didn't track results, how would I actually see that? I do see it on a daily basis, like, wow, she's getting better. But for me, I like seeing the numbers. I like seeing the data. It really works nicely. You don't have to throw it in your kid's face at all, but just you as a teacher, I really think is important. All right, everybody, share in the comments below. Let me know how you grade your kids, what you do, how you do it, what your system is. I would absolutely love to hear. I'm always looking to learn. And make sure you tap that subscribe button. Leave me a comment Give me a little thumbs up if you like this video. I will catch up with you next time for another homeschool video on Monday. Catch up with me on my faith life, my faith journey on Wednesdays. I will see you later. Bye.